Good morning. My name is Monica with Canadian Business Chicks. We connect professionals and entrepreneurs with a passion for business and profit. And today we are really excited to welcome Viola. Viola is a founder and CEO of VH Marketing, and she's going to discuss with us a little bit about her business, what her journey was, and chat about the SEO. SEO is huge for anybody that's on the internet. Of course, everybody is. So we're going to dive into that a little bit. But before I introduce and open up the floor to Viola, I just want to give you a little bit of a background. I have had her send me a little bit of a stage bio so I can just really clearly articulate Viola's background. So Viola is the owner of VH Marketing, an online marketing agency in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. She is passionate about helping small business owners make sense of their ever-changing and sometimes frustrating world of online marketing. Her specialty is search engine optimization, which is SEO, focusing on achieving a profitable overall web presence for her clients. Viola is also active in Calgary's immigrant community, mentoring, translating, and speaking. Welcome today. I'm just excited about this conversation because there's so much information to share and looking forward to just diving in deep. So if I can just have you in about 3 sentences, there was a little bit of an overall view about, you and your business, but how did you get started into this world of SEO? Like, how many years have you been in it? When did you start your journey? If you can just share a little bit about that.
So in 2009, early 2009, a friend of mine who owned a commercial cleaning company asked me to build him his website because he had just paid somebody and nothing was happening. So that's how I started building websites, and I really enjoyed the process. I enjoyed the result. But then I was looking at how come his website now is not to be found? Where is it? I built it, all this work, and it's not showing up anywhere. So I didn't know about search engine optimization then. And that's how I started looking and digging and found the world of search engine optimization. And it's kind of aligned with what I did previously. I was a systems analyst at Shell Canada. And so systems were my world and are my world. So that's how I started looking into and learning. I spent countless hours and lots of money and courses and still doing it because this is a living thing. This is not something that you do once and then you forget about it. It's a constant process. So that's how I started my business, and that's how I started that's how I went into search engine optimization.
So let's just think back to how many years ago that was, if you can. So that was 2002?
So that was 7 years ago.
Okay. So 7 years ago. And now, I just know from, seeing the online presence and sort of Facebook, how it's growing and, everything, how it's just exploded. So when you thought about, focusing on SEO and website, when did that transition take place? So you're building websites. So when did that transition take place where you're really focused on that SEO piece of your business?
Good question. So probably around 2000, probably around 2010, 11, around there that I started. And what I started doing is also changing my business model, because just building websites, it's not a steady income. It's really, you always have to look and chase for the next new customer. And this gave me, doing SEO for clients monthly gave me a steady income. So I stabilize my business really, and it helped the clients.
So let me ask you a question. So, just being really new to SEO and, that whole world. So on a monthly basis, what can somebody expect to see in like a month? Like what would that be? What would that involve? Like, some people say, okay, I've got SEO and now I'm done. Is that it? Or what needs to be done on a continuous basis for that to somebody that has no idea about that world. So if you can just walk us through like baby step through why you would do it and what kind of maintenance is required.
Okay, so let's say, Monica, that you approach me and you say, well, I think I need SEO. I'm not sure what it is. What is it? How can we go forward? So then what I'll do, I'll sit down with you. I have a 1-hour free consultation and see what would you like to achieve, okay? And then just show you a few things on how it works so you get at least a little bit familiar with what SEO is and how it's working or not working for you right now. And then from there, let's say, okay, I want to hire you. I will ask for at least a 6-month commitment because SEO is a slow process. It also lasts, so it's worth it. And actually, my clients have been with me for years, so 6 months is a minimum, really. And I never hold anybody, like if you want to bail out in 1 month, I don't care, you can go. So I never hold anybody to that, but I suggest that you do so you see results. So the first step is keyword research. And even before building a website, if I'm the one building a website, I will start with that because everything online, I mean everything is keywords. So so that's what's first step.
Okay, so and keywords as to everything on your website or your content, other people's content, what does that relate to?
So how do you want to be found? So let's say I'm searching for simplicity's sake, I'm searching for a plumber in Calgary. So what kind of words do people use? So I use different tools to find it out. One of the tools that you guys can use it too, is Google Keyword Planner. It's free, and it's a Google database of people, searching. And Google keeps that data and categorizes it, and it's in this Keyword Planner tool. Now you can see, Calgary plumber, I don't know, there are 500 searches per month in Calgary, and it's high competition, and it's really high competition means it's difficult to rank. So then you go to an easier one maybe to start with. So maybe it would be, I don't know, plumber, best plumber in Calgary is Southeast or Douglasdale or something.
Be more specific with your search.
Yes.
Okay.
So more words, not just Calgary plumber. Because in all honesty, people use that a lot too. So they put more words than just 2. So you don't just say Calgary dentist. If you live in Mackenzie Lake, then you put down Calgary dentist Mackenzie Lake or something like that. So I start with keyword research. I'll show you that research. And then we kind of agree, okay, these are the words we're going to go start with because it's a process, continuous. I mean, you should be ranking for hundreds of keywords ideally, right? So what does ranking mean? Maybe you'll ask. That means...
Right, that's a great question. What is ranking?
Because I get that question. And that means when the person who is looking for your services or your product is searching online. First of all, it's going to search on Google. That's what a point of mine. They're not going to search on Facebook. They're going to search on Google. So they're going to put in, and you yourself do the same thing. You put in certain words. So you put in a string of words, and some results come up. And you go page 1, maybe you look down, and maybe page 2. I doubt it if you go to page 3. So if you're really, really interested, and you can find what you're looking for, you might. So that's what ranking means, that you're going to show up in those first 2 pages, or at least 3. So, yeah.
So ranking is really important to be seen. How do you get on the top? How do you get on the top?
By climbing.
Like, can it be achieved without SEO?
So you have to understand what SEO is, really, because SEO has many components. I'm going to just list them now so you know.
Okay.
SEO is so keyword research. The next one is,
I'm going to write this down.
Yeah.
Keyword research.
Yeah. The next
Yeah.
one is competition analysis. And so keyword research, competition analysis, and after that is on-page SEO, and then off-page SEO.
An off page?
Yeah, so
okay.
on page means it's on your website. We do stuff with your website, with the content of your site,
Okay.
with tags and with header, different links and stuff within your site. The off page that's the big beast. So that's mainly what I do monthly. After the first 3 steps are done, then that's the off page, and it entails a whole bunch of things. You can't do them all at once, and it takes time. So just if you think about what is the web, and why do they call the internet the web? Because it's a web. Like you're the spider, let's say, okay? Your website is the spider. You have to weave a web around your website, because if you just have a spider, will not survive. It just has no web around it. So those the webs are the points, the links coming to your website from all sorts of directions, from social media, from review sites, from local directories, from classified ads, so that's linking from other websites.
Okay.
So you're weaving that web like a little spider.
Okay.
to have that presence. So that's the offline SEO in plain terms, I guess, and that takes a lot of time because it's a lot of avenues.
So ideally, what someone would do when they're starting off is just go first, number one, get a consultation and find out, where you're at and where you want to go. And if you don't know where you want to go, ask the experts, because sometimes I think people go, I don't know, right? So sometimes you have to come with all of the tools in your toolbox. But number one, have that consultation with you, find out what your objectives are, and come up with a plan. I think, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't, you said it doesn't happen overnight. And I think that's the myth, is that you do SEO and poof, magically, it just starts to happen for you. So, I mean, you have to be able to track it, of course. You have to have some analytics in place so that you actually know if it's working, which is really interesting. So how long can somebody expect to see results from just starting to sort of incorporate and beef up their SEO?
So it depends on the industry, because some industries are extremely competitive. Like one of them would be, I know I had a mortgage broker and as a client, and then you're competing with the banks, you're competing with big mortgage corporations who throw in literally tens of thousands of dollars at this. So the small, independent mortgage broker cannot afford that. But you can still do some stuff. And my client did get leads off the internet. But maybe I have to tell you, it was from YouTube.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So, and just as a side note, YouTube is owned by Google, and anything that Google owns, Google prefers. So if you put your videos and optimize them just a little bit, at least have a link back to your website, you will get a little bit more traction than the average. So there are a lot of things that the do-it-yourselfer can do, or people with low budget can do themselves, or maybe they have somebody in the office who has a few hours, or they can hire VH Marketing or maybe a lower package, because I have 3 different packages. So as long as you're doing something, you're ahead of I would say at least 50% of the businesses, because a lot of businesses do nothing, which is just blows my mind. And then they say,
Okay.
well, internet marketing is not working. Well, you're not doing it. Or you don't even know what you don't know.
I think that's the biggest piece here. And I think that's why this conversation is really important, is you don't know what you don't know. And we just had Margot join us. So hello, Margot, for joining us today. We're talking about, and landing pages is really important as well. So what is your thought on landing page? Was that a question, Margot? It's just for keyword search. Absolutely. Are you in the business of website developments, Margot, or what is your business? Do you want to, how many is the right number? Okay. Hey, Margot, we're going to open it up. Anybody want to jump on? We've got probably about 3 minutes. So I thought we'd open it up. Anybody want to jump on a call and chat with Viola? I'll open up a seat if you'd like to jump on, because it's kind of fun, if anybody's ready.
No.
Okay.
No.
So that's okay next time. Just know that oh, yes. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to accept Margot.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning, Margot. How are you
guys?
Good. And where are you calling
I'm calling from Austin, Texas.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, one of my favorite cities in the entire world, I swear. I love Austin.
It is a great city. I've been here for 20 years, and it just keeps getting better all the time, unless you don't own real estate.
Well, anyway, it's a fabulous city. I miss the Cedar Creek with the hula hut and all that great stuff.
Yes, love it. Love it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us today. So you had some questions for Viola about sort of landing pages and for the keywords and how many is the right number. So are you able to answer that question for us today, Viola?
What is the question?
Well, so I've done, my background is marketing and sales, and a lot of it's been digital marketing. And I know that from trial and error with SEO and SEM, that SEO is what makes the most sense. SEM, pay-per-click, is just wildly expensive and ineffective is what I found. But SEO is so complicated, and it's laborious and tedious. So I know that a good best practice is have a landing page for each of your keywords, but that could be like hundreds. So my question is, what's the right number? What's the, or a guideline of you should have 20 or you should have 1,000,
So the way I would look at this, I would say, okay, what are you promoting right now? What is more important to you right now in your business?
Yep.
And focus on creating landing pages for keywords that attract whatever you're selling.
Right.
Right now.
Right.
Okay. And because landing page, it's not like you have to create 500 landing pages and then you're done. The way my approach would be is, whatever you're doing now, let's start concentrating on that, and always measure. So as Monica said, go to Google Analytics, see what works. For one product, I would create probably 2 landing pages and test them. Which one works better? Something like that.
Right. Okay, that's
know.
very helpful. Yeah, there's so many things you can focus on. How do you choose the ones that are going to give you the biggest bang?
Just choose something. Because then it can drive you crazy. Yeah.
Another question I have is if you have a landing page tool that you like to use. I have used HubSpot before when I was on the customer side of things, and that's not really cost effective for small business, super small business. So. With everything, there's lots of choices on the internet for everything. What I found that's easier to use is lead pages. Lead pages? Okay.
Yes. It's
life.
Yeah, they have lots of different templates for different scenarios, and it's easy to install. It hooks up with many of your email marketing software, so I think it's easy to integrate, and I would use that.
Okay. Did I take you off topic?
And I'm not getting paid from that, just to let you know.
This is what's interesting, because some of those questions that come in are burning questions that people have that we may or may not have, or that we may not have covered. And there's so many questions. This is such a very, very large topic. So no, we welcome the door, and thank you for joining us. That's lovely.
Thanks for having me. It's really
and I'm going to tweet this out and say, thanks for joining us from Austin. Ready, ladies? Smile. Oh, just because we can have some
Why not?
Anyways, I know we got to have fun. If we're, I think if you don't have fun, you better switch jobs.
I agree totally.
Right?
I agree totally. We do it too much of our day doing it for it to not be fun.
You know what? And if you're on passion, it's really not like you're doing work anyways. I know that there's lots of work to be done, but if you're on passion and you're on purpose, then it's fun. Regardless. So thank you for joining us. That was lovely. And we do this every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So please come join us again, Margot. And we interview entrepreneurs and just share their story, their journey, and really just share about the business that they're working on. I do have a couple more questions for you, Viola. And I know that I captured a little bit on the SEO. I want to say thank you for sharing that. There's so much to know. And if people need to reach out to you and connect out to you more about search engine optimization, they can follow you on Twitter, connect up with you at VH Marketing, and I'm sure you'd be more than happy to connect up with them. And they don't need to live in Calgary. I mean, like we see here, you're from Austin, Texas, right? So thank goodness for the World Wide Web, right? Because it really just opened doors and communications, just like the person across the street having coffee. So, Val, I just want to sort of say that I'd like to sort of dive into a little bit more before we kind of cut the day today about how you balance family and life, because I know that for women-owned businesses, I know this is a question I have to ask everybody, and it's really important because I find that it's helpful to share your story and go, hey, you're not the only one, or hey, this is what I do. Somebody takes nuggets of information that I help and support them on their journey. So when you first started into the world of, going from a corporate job into running your own business, how was that transition, and how has it been since that till now? Have you seen a progression of balancing your family and life? Has it changed?
Well, to start off with, when I started my business, and I'm sure I'm not unique in this one, it was an uphill battle for sure. It was difficult. So for this first year and a half, many times I thought, what am I doing? Let's go back to work. But that's been in the past. So, I overcame that. Balancing family and personal life with business is not easy. So the way I do it, I guess I'm lucky in a way because I can work pretty much anywhere. And that's good and bad. The good thing is that I can do that. The bad thing is I go on vacation, I go wherever, Europe, the States, wherever I am, I'm pretty much always working.
Right.
So, well, maybe not as much as I would at home, obviously, but so that's very difficult. So only one time in the 7 years that I took 7 days off, I promised, we went to Bahamas, and I said I will not bring any electronic device, and I will not touch anything. And that was about a year and a half ago.
I'm going to give you an applause for that. Congratulations. That is incredibly hard to do.
Yes.
Lots to love on that one. And really, those are things that we need to talk about, because we need to unplug in order to save ourselves for building our businesses. Yeah,
but the hotel had a bloody computer. So it was really hard not to go. I would just pass by and look at it and rush. It was like, no, I'm not touching it.
Good for you. And what about you have children? So how have you incorporated, keeping those relationships alive with your family when you're, focused on building that business? How has that been for you?
Most of the time, if there is an emergency, I drop everything. Family is most important.
Yes.
And other than that, it's a mash, because it's not like going to an office and okay, I'm here at 8 and I'm leaving at 5, and then it's such a mash. I could be I don't know, babysitting for 2 hours during so-called office hours. I have a grandson, he's 3. And then working at 11 o'clock at night. So it works for me. And whatever feels good for you, that's what you should do. I have to do this this is okay. So, and at the end, it works out.
So everybody has their own recipe, I think. Margot, do you have kids?
I do. I have teenagers. I have a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old. Yeah. Yeah.
So they need more attention rather than less attention.
And it needs to be different. You know, it's a real challenge. I have a daughter and a son, and yes. They have their activities, and it's very interesting. Recently, my son who's 17, he's a junior in high school. He went to Camp Enterprise, which is a weekend-long, highly intensive Rotary Club sponsored business camp, entrepreneur camp. And it was,
wow, for kids, that's fantastic.
I know, isn't it? And he was sort of like, I don't know what I want to do, what I don't want to do. I make a terrible social worker. I have no empathy. You know, we knew that about him. So they did a personality assessment, and he was part Oprah Winfrey, part Donald Trump.
Oh my,
goodness,
that is quite the combination. Yes.
So what was interesting was this is the first time I've ever heard him say anything that remotely reflected respect for my profession or my achievements. I mean, not in a bad way, just, you know, they're selfish. They don't, you know, they're not focused on us. But he heard a story about e-commerce, and he heard, and I don't remember what it was or even who was speaking, but what he said was, well, then I remembered, well, my mother ran the website for Dell, so that can't be true, whatever it was. And I thought, oh, he remembered a thing I did and that it was a pretty good job.
Wow.
And, you know, he was impressed by it. And it was years ago. I mean, I stopped when his sister was born. I took 10 years out, you know, to raise kids, because at the time, Dell and a lot of other companies were not super family friendly. And so I took time off, and then I restarted my career a few years ago. But it's rewarding to see that.
Absolutely.
And they've become pretty respectful of, we got to juggle. And like you said, do you say your name Viola? Like that?
Viola.
Oh, that's very pretty. Like Viola said, there are times when the family takes the front seat. There's times when you have to say, sorry, family, I can't do both things. I got to be over here. Well, that's okay. You came to the last 4 basketball games, so you can skip this one. So it is a match.
There's a balance, and there's a trade-off, and there's an understanding. But when they see you working hard, those things and those traits, and I think your daughter's working with you now, right, with your business, they understand what it is that you're doing, and they see that hard work. And I think it just gives them a little extra, right? I mean, those are the foundation and those principles that when they get out in there, it's going to be like hard work. You have to work for what you believe in. Nothing just comes. I mean, sure, it's great when things just happen and they happen naturally and they come very easily. But, you know, the satisfaction comes with hard work.
It does.
I truly believe that. So if we can teach that to our kids, that's a true blessing.
It is. And speaking of a mashup, I have a 8-week-old puppy that needs to go out right now. So,
okay. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again.
I'll check back with you next week.
Okay. Sounds great. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Margot.
Okay, so that was a little bit of everything today. Jean had to go. She's signed off. But thank you so much for sharing about SEO, about your journey, talking about work-life balance. Before you go, I just have a couple little rapid-fire questions. Are you okay with it?
Sure.
Okay, let's fire off. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Transylvania. And it is a real place.
Wow.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Transylvania. It is Romania today. It's a region. And honestly, I never heard about Dracula till I left the country.
Isn't that funny? Well, that's something new. I never knew that about you, but that is really super cool. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so Transylvania, Romania, lovely. Favorite book?
I like historical novels, and one of my favorites is Shogun, James Clavell.
Okay, interesting. Do you have a favorite business book that you're reading right now at all? Or there's no
Well,
time to read?
It's more like a it's the Four Agreements.
Oh, love the Four
Four
Agreements.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading right now.
Oh, fantastic.
Short, yeah, it's a short one, but a punchy one.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love those little nuggets because I always like to find out what everybody's sort of diving into right now. And sort of as they're plugging in on business or building their business, I find that a really interesting fact to find. And of course, your favorite social platform. I'm curious, your favorite platform.
You probably know, but for everybody else, it's Twitter. I'm on my favorite.
Yes, I know. I love Twitter as well. Twitter is one of my favorites. You can get it out there, 140 characters, and it goes quite a ways,
very
right?
Fast.
Very, very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as we see here, even it's connected through Blab, it's connected through to so many other platforms that really, if you're on Twitter, that opens the doors to everything else. So I just actually gave some advice to a woman last night, and she's an executive with an oil company, and she's not on Twitter. And I said, the best advice I can give you about that is go home, grab a Twitter handle, and even if you do not plan to use it, just grab it because it's yours. You'll own it. Nobody can take it away from you. Right? Yeah. So that was my best advice. You don't have to do anything with it until you're ready, but just go grab that handle. Anyways, your favorite season?
It's the fall, which is, it's the fall. And there are a few reasons, but the main reason is, a couple of main ones, I guess. It's not cold yet. The colors are beautiful and there are no bugs.
Oh, right. Right. I forget the fact that we have bugs all summer. Somehow I just, I'm like all about the sunshine and daylight being long and all that sort of stuff. I forget about those nasty little bugs, but I love fall as well. It's a beautiful time of year. That's lovely. And the bugs. Thank goodness we don't live in Winnipeg. The bugs are in Winnipeg. Passion. What's your passion?
My passion is to encourage people. I like to see them believe in themselves, and so it doesn't matter if it's just on personal level or it's on business level or any kind of relationship. It's you know what? There's always hope. There's always should look at the bright side and concentrate on that and focus on that, and I love doing that. So that's what I do when I go and talk to immigrants too. It's just because I'm one of them, but I've been here for quite a while. So encouraging and giving hope.
Well, I think that's beautiful. And I think that sort of translates into your business as well, right? Because you deal very closely with your clients and building that relationship. Mm-hmm. So wanting the best for somebody and seeing them succeed is really important when you're a business owner. So that's fabulous. And especially welcoming the immigrants, right? Because you've been there, done that. So you know exactly the walk and how hard it was for you. So that's a beautiful thing to be able to share that. Now, I'm going to say favorite destination, but I already have a feeling that I already know what it might be. A beach without a computer, right?
Yeah. I just like to travel, but in the winter, so depends on the season. The winter would be somewhere hot, so Mexico. Usually in the spring, I like to go to Europe. Not in the summer. It's way too hot in the summer.
Good advice. Good tip. Good tip. Okay.
So,
Okay, so I know where to find you year round. Are you logging in from Europe or are you logging in from the beach? That's fabulous. And I think that we should definitely be able to work from wherever we want to. So do you have a power song? A song that when you're driving in the car that you just like, do you have a favorite power song?
No, I don't.
No?
No.
Okay. Okay. Classical music.
Oh yeah, I like Vivaldi. So yeah.
Okay. So that is your power music.
Yes. The Seasons by Vivaldi. Oh,
beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. See, I always know because when somebody says they don't have a power song, Yeah, you do have a power song, but it might be in the form of a classical music. And I find that I think you'll remember last year, our woman of inspiration, Diane, her power song was this really deep, deep classical piece, and it had a deep meaning to it that was attached to her mom. So it was her power song, but it wasn't like a Beyonce song. It was a really, really wonderful classical piece that had a deep meaning to it. So I always like to ask that question because it's different for everybody. Okay, and I'm just going to ask, who is your woman of inspiration? We have Woman of Inspiration coming up October 1st in Calgary. There's nominees coming in, and just a reminder to, for those of us you watching, to nominate a Woman of Inspiration on Canadian Business Chicks website, CanadianBusinessChicks.com to nominate. But who would be your woman of inspiration?
So are you asking in Calgary or in the world?
I'm just going to open it up to who that woman is to you. So that could be anywhere.
It's Oprah.
Oprah? I love Oprah.
It might sound cliche, but it is Oprah.
You know what? I went to see Oprah in Calgary, and I actually took Diane. I do love Oprah. She's an amazing woman. I think she's just a true thought leader, and yeah, she's an amazing woman. So I agree, hands down. And I just, one more question. I cannot live without my blank.
It's the laptop.
The laptop. How about the mobile phone?
No, because see, my eyesight is kind of going. So it's too small. I do a lot of stuff on the phone, obviously, but I prefer a laptop. I'm more comfortable on that.
Well, fantastic. So we're a little bit over time today. We had a little technical glitches. I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today. I did make some notes on sort of in the back here on how to, what are the first 4 tips that you would, if we could just run through those. The first 4 tips, like if somebody was interested in SEO, number 1, contact someone who knows what they're talking about. So contact yourself. Right? A VH marketing, that would be the first step. Know what it is that you want to do. Focus on your keywords, right? The next one is your keywords.
You have to start there.
You have to know what you want to dive into. And then you would do your, from keywords, then it was your landing pages.
Yeah, it's on page SEO.
On page. Then your off page.
And the off page, and then you should have Google Analytics and Google Webmaster in there, so you know how you're doing.
Right.
You can track. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much again. It was fantastic having you. Love to have the chat, and hopefully we'll have you back again. So we're going to sign off. Is there any other questions for anyone else? Marianne, thank you for joining us again today, and we look forward to welcoming you back to the show next Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. And until then, have a fantastic week and follow us all on Twitter. See you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.